Check, check, check. Oh, I think we have it now. Hold on. Hold on. Waiting for it. Waiting for confirmation. Checking, checking.
Check, check, check.
Oh, it's there. All right. Sorry, that was a long checking period. My name's Brad Moushart. I'm a meteorologist here at Fox 19 in the streaming center. One of these days, somebody will stop coming in here and messing with these settings. I'm going to find you. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their Thursday so far. It's been a little breezy. It's been a little gloomy, gray, chilly outside. Not exactly feeling like we're rounding out spring and heading to summer. It doesn't feel that way. You know, unofficial start of summer this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. The actual start of summer is still about a month away. But normal temperatures this time of the year should be topping out, you know, mid-70s, mid to upper 70s. And today we're going to struggle to get out of the mid to upper 50s in a lot of spots. It will be chilly out there. Take the coat, take a rain jacket. There will be some stray showers drifting on through. But, you know, it's not going to be as bad. We're not expecting any severe weather, any real big downpours, but as you can see behind me, it looks a little gloomy, a little gray outside for your Thursday. And then the chilly temperatures are going to stick with us. It will not be a pool weekend if you've opened those up early, unfortunately, if you had any plans out there to celebrate the holiday. Now, let's start off with something maybe a little lighter. I've been getting a lot of good cicada apocalypse photos on Facebook, and I appreciate you sharing those with me. These popped in, I think, over the weekend, earlier this week when we had some stronger storms. I didn't get a chance to share them until yesterday. So if you were watching yesterday evening, you got to check this out. This was sent in by Carol out of the Milford area. Some people are having way too much fun with these cicadas, all right? So on top of these two photos, you know, the cicada driving the toy car there and getting on the laptop. And by the way, that's not a full-size laptop. That is not a giant cicada. It looks like a little toy laptop, maybe a little mirror. So don't get too scared there. Right? It is a cicada apocalypse, but they're still normal size. With that said, and just in case, I want to hop over here and just check the comments just to make sure everybody's got the audio coming in. All right, nobody's complaining yet, so that is uncommon to both have audio issues working and no complaints anyway. So already a good start to our Thursday. On top of these two photos, Carol also had a couple other ones. They're on my Facebook page. You can check them out in the comments. I'll try sharing a couple more of these. We're going to weigh in through the day today. But good stuff. Hopefully everybody's trying to dodge them out there. Maybe the cold weather will keep them a little bit more quiet outside this weekend. We'll see what happens, but don't count on it. Today's weather number, actually yesterday's weather number, again, if you were watching in the evening hours yesterday, you saw me pop this up. That is our total number of tornadoes so far this year in the tri-state. Pretty good number, 14 total across 10 different counties. Some of those crossed into different counties. And here is the map for that. You can see that Warren County is now up to 4, the tornado capital, unfortunately, of the tri-state this year so far. Clinton County, I don't know why I'm freezing on that. Butler County and Ripley County all up to 3 as well, 3 tornadoes. And the best part about this, you know, nobody wants to see a tornado, but if you're going to see one, at least make it the EF0 or EF1 variety. We've had 3 EF1 tornadoes. Again, that's the lower end on the spectrum, not to say it hasn't done damage and affected people, but compared to what they've seen, you know, very recently down with that 58 mile per hour or 58 mile-long path of an EF4 tornado that went between Ely, Kentucky, Somerset, and London last week, almost about this time. You know, we'll take what we can get, you know, with that kind of luck here in the tri-state so far. So for us, it has been a busy spring. It feels like we've seen a lot of rainfall. We're pretty close to average on the number of days with precipitation, at least measurable precipitation, but it sure has felt gloomy, and that's what we're going to see outside again today. And a lot of this weekend, while there will be some, a lot of dry time, it will be cloudy at times. And that north wind's going to stick with us. And it's just going to keep temperatures really chilly outside. So this is looking back down across downtown off to the southeast. And you can see some of those showers there that are just pushing off in the distance. That'll be something we're sticking with. And wow, temperature-wise, this was actually down from a few minutes ago. I think it was in the mid-50s. We're now down to 51, and it's probably that rain shower that just pushed past the airport. Probably cooled things off just a few degrees. Winds, these are sustained winds. We're going to be dealing with this through the day, about 10 to 20 miles an hour. We'll see gusts 25 to 30 miles per hour. That is an extra hairspray kind of day. That's what we're going to be dealing with, and it's out of the wrong direction. It is going to cool us down. Another cold front, a weak one, is diving through. That is going to reinforce that colder air, working our way into the weekend. So instead of, you know, the mid-70s where we should be. We're talking mid-50s to upper 50s outside today, barely sneaking into about the mid-60s by Saturday afternoon. That's it. That's the warmest day we have for the holiday weekend ahead. 51 right now, 54 in Indy. And again, that 51, probably the rain showers that just pushed past the airport, cooling us off a few more degrees. Not a washout. Just take the rain jacket with you. You'll need it through the day today. On and off. We might even see a few peaks of sunshine trying to sneak through the clouds. You can see where the map here is a little darker in spots. Those are the clearings, in the clouds. It's got a dark gray base map there, so that's what's showing up there between it. Up to the northwest, that is the cold front finally starting to sweep on through northern Indiana. It'll arrive late tonight, giving us our last good chance for rain, and then we'll clear out for tomorrow morning. And if some spots do clear out enough, we could be talking upper 30s. It's not a frost or a freeze, but you will be freezing if you do not wear a coat outside to work or school tomorrow morning. It will be very, very chilly, unseasonably cool. Our normal lows are in the mid-50s. That's almost enough that you can open up the windows and get away with it for most of the night, right? For a little free AC tomorrow morning, might want to shut those windows again if you've been working on that, because it will be, again, pretty chilly outside the next few mornings, especially with any kind of clearing we'll see through the overnight. So here's what we have for the rest of the day today as we round out the week and start heading towards that long Memorial Day weekend. 61 degrees outside. That's at best here. Yeah, Nichelle, I'm completely with you. Lived in Florida for a few years prior to coming back, and I will take cooler weather over sweating profusely every single day of my life down there. That was awful. So this is not bad, just a little chilly in some spots, because this is at best through the afternoon. When people see high temperatures, they think, oh, 60s all day. That is 61 at best for about an hour, and then we're going right back down. You go up 61, right back down. So, once that sun starts to set tonight, expect low 50s, upper 40s outside, a chilly evening, and most of the rain shower activity starts to wrap up by about 5 to 7 o'clock. After that, we're drying back out. This particular model that we like a lot in terms of timing things out does have some clearer skies moving back in early tomorrow morning. If that happens, we're getting into the 30s. It's going to happen. So chilly tomorrow morning, a little crisp to start your day. Currently, the lows might be running a little bit warm out there with that north wind and the clear skies. I have us at 45, but I might have to drop that if that model run continues to show the clearing skies tomorrow morning. Just be aware of that. Take the coat. 40s, you're probably going to need it anyway early tomorrow morning. We do rebound a bit as we work way through the day. Cold start, but we're back up to 60 in the afternoon. It's not hot. It's not cold. It's cool. It's in the middle, right? And again, that is 60 at best for about an hour. Tomorrow, if you're headed to the Reds game, first pitch is at 6:40. We have us there at 57 degrees. Luckily, unlike last weekend, again, that was that big severe weather event last Friday for Fireworks Friday. They have a drone show and Fireworks Friday, both happening tomorrow down at Great American Ballpark. The Cubs are in town. That's always a big game anyway, because a lot of those Malort drinkers are down here for the weekend, and you can bet it's going to be a big crowd at the ballpark. Luckily, we will have no big weather issues. No rain Friday, Saturday, probably not even Sunday. Sunday there's a slim chance south of the river, but I don't think it makes it up here. I think we're dry all week, and even Monday looks pretty good. So the Reds will not have much to worry about except for the cold, and that's mostly you, because if you're sitting out there in the stands, you're not actively running around, it's going to get pretty chilly pretty quick out there. So take the coat with you. You might not need it for the first pitch, but as the temperatures start to cool, that sun gets lower behind the stadium, it's going to be chilly by the time we hit the fireworks later on in the night in the drone show. So just be prepared for that. Other than that, a really nice Memorial Day weekend. It is not going to be the typical first day of summer, first weekend of summer out there like you're thinking. A lot of people have already opened up the pools. City pools are already open outside. That will not be the case working our way into this weekend. 64 is not bad on Sunday, but it's going to be a lot of clouds, slim chance for some showers. Monday, another slim chance for rain, but I think most of us are dry for that too, despite what the icon there is showing. So here's some promising news. It's been a lot of bad news. Let's get to some good news. By the end of this forecast, temperatures will start to rebound. So by day 7 there, working our way into Thursday, we're back to 72. And then we're going to get closer to normal by the end of next week and next weekend. But at this time of the year, you also have to be careful. It's kind of one or the other this time of the year is in this transition period. As temperatures start to climb, the rain chances also try to return. So that's something we'll keep an eye on. The 8 to 14 day, the extended outlook, does have that pull of cooler air finally moving a little bit further off to the south where it's going to impact more of the deep south. They're going to be below normal between the 30th and June 5th, so that first kind of almost full week of June. Here in the tri-state, normal is good. We'll take normal. You don't want to see above normal. That's typically when we see the storms this time of the year. You don't want to see below normal because that's when everybody complains to me. So we'll take normal. Normal would be good for us. Here's a look at the forecast. Let me go ahead and pull up the right one because I know I already forgot to switch this to the PM version. Let's try again. One of these days, I'll remember all these things and get it all done in the same forecast. All right, 60 degrees outside. Reds are back in town. 3-game series with the Cubbies. Working away Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperatures, again, these are the afternoon highs. Those evening games are going to be a little bit chillier because the sun will be setting behind the stadium, and that's 64 max, and then dropping from there on Saturday. Sunday, I have us at 62. Again, just the slimmest of chances for a shower. Most of us are dry there. Same with Monday. Most of us are dry. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Again, temperatures start to climb. The rain chances start to climb. But still just spotty. Nothing really too widespread out here for the extended forecast. Just a spotty shower chance, more dry time than not the next 7 days. And normal for us, again, we'll take it. 72 on Thursday and probably some mid-70s by the time we head back towards the end of next week into next weekend. So a little bit closer to where we should be. Again, no big weather issues outside. We got cicadas all over the place, especially on the east side of town. That's where they're coming out this year with Brood 14. And you're not likely to see many in southeast Indiana. You're not likely to see many in northern Kentucky, unless you're over towards Mason County, Lewis County, just across the river from where they're expected to be pretty bad. So if you're not seeing the cicadas yet, you're probably not going to see too many of them, even despite the cooler temperatures. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of interact with the cooler air next couple of days, especially those morning lows. Maybe a little bit less active, but not a cicadaologist. So not exactly sure what's going to happen with that. Again, hopping back to the baseball forecast. I don't have any comments here going on Facebook. Let me check this one, see what we got going on. And if we don't have a whole lot of anything, then we'll call it a quick and easy day because there's not much to talk about with this. Luckily, it's a pretty nice stretch. Let's check out this. Let's turn the volume down so we don't hear me. Is it the coolest Memorial weekend ever? That is a good question. So Carmen sent that one in. Give me a second. I will do some research on the fly, and we'll see just how fast I can close out of the 400 tabs that automatically load when I get into my internet here. Let's see. Closing all the tabs. Let's do some research. Well, first off, here's the issue with this, is that Memorial Day is always the last, kind of Monday in May, and that becomes tricky because it's not always the same date. So this time is the 26th. It's a lot easier to look it up by a specific date, so I'm just going to kind of give us a range here, somewhere between like the 26th, 20th and the 30th, I guess we'll just say, somewhere in there, and we'll see what happens, just to give us a general idea of what's going to happen. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to change this, and I'm going to do average temperature, mean temperature, average of days. Is that what I want? That's not what I want. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to find the average temperature here for a certain date, a range of dates, right? And I'm going to try to see, where we are in the list for coldest Memorial Days, because I don't think we're actually that close. I did look up, or this is what I'll tell you earlier. I did look up the 20th to the 30th. I did this earlier. It wasn't for this. I was just going to see, with that above average or below normal stretch coming up, I wanted to see where we were going to be when it comes to, and you're not seeing me do anything right now because this is not in the computer program you're seeing on the thing. I did look that up earlier, and I think in all the years going back to the 1800s, our average temperature was, I even have it written down. Look at me, I'm ahead of things. 63.5, that was the temperature so far from the 15th through the 30th. Obviously, we have not gotten to the end of the month, but so far the average temperature starting 7 days ago here in the tri-state, thanks to that warm weather we had late last week, our average temperature, highs, lows, everything combined, was 63.5. That was 70th something on I think it was 73rd on the list of all-time temperatures So good question. You were ahead of me. 63.5, that's where we were so far between the 15th and now, so a whole week with more to go. The rest of the years where we have completed all that time frame, 15th to the 20th, so just the second half of May, so we'll give it maybe about Memorial Day-ish. The coldest was 56.6. It doesn't sound like that much of a difference, but that little bit of a difference between 56.6 to 63.5 average temperature-wise puts us about 70th on the list. We're nowhere close to the coolest end of May we have seen. And I doubt we get there even with the cool temperatures we have ahead. So that was a good question. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on the fly without not talking for a minute. I just don't think it's going to happen. Let's see. Mean temperature. It's not going to be in that. Daily data listing, calendar day summaries maybe, average temperature, mean temperature. I don't think it's going to happen there either. Seasonal maybe. Let's try this. Other. Okay, here we go. So, minutes, the average temperature, the mean temperature, starting off forever ago and going until 2025. I'm going to set this. I'll even narrow down the dates a little bit just to really skew the data. So let's see, let's put this in as the 20th. We'll start there and we'll run through May 31st. And I want a 30-year average as well, the moving average of 30 years, just to see what kind of the average temperature is in that time frame, 20th to the 31st, so more or less like the last week and a little bit more than a week of May. We'll hit go on this, and I know you cannot see this, but I'll tell you again, the coldest May 20th to May 31st ever was 57.3 degrees back in 1907. 1907. So far, since we have only 3 days in, ours is 61.0 degrees. So, about a little less than 3 degrees off. It's not to say we can't try to catch up, but our current ranking, hold that thought, let's see, got to do it a different way here, is 10th for that stretch. It's a little better than when I went to the first half of the month because those temperatures last week really brought the average up. So we're in the top 10 right now with 10 days to go, including what's going to be out there today. So including today, which is chilly, and we're below 60 likely today, and the average temperature, because this is taking into effect all temperatures through the day, that'll certainly get dragged down. Hey, we're going to be close. We'll see what happens. That's a really weird way to skew the data, but we could definitely make it happen. Like I said, it's a little bit more interesting. I would really have to go back through and search individual dates. I don't have time for that. Actually, looking at this is already wrong. Hold on. Don't listen to anything I'm saying. This is set to Baltimore. What's going on? Hold that thought. I knew there was something weird about that because it wasn't anywhere close earlier. Hold on, ILN, got to find Wilmington. I knew something weird was going on. All right, let me try this again. Luckily, I don't have to restart from scratch. All right, coldest temperature. Redo. Ignore everything I said for the last 5 minutes. 54 degrees, that's our coldest temperature between the 20th and the 31st. Maybe I'll make a graphic with this later. 54, that's the coldest. Excuse me as I write notes. This year, so far, for those days, still the same, 61, so we were way off. 61, so 7 degrees. It's really hard to make up in that much of a time span. I mean, the below average temperatures will help. Let's see. Coldest. Now I'll try to find where we're at on the list, and we'll see exactly where we are. 18th. 18th, so in the top 20, 7 degrees off, 10 days to go. And a lot of that first half of that stretch will be chilly, so we'll see what happens. Again, not impossible. A lot of it, not impossible. We got 10 days to go. I know you can't see this graph, but I'll have a graphic for you tonight, this evening, if you tune back in at 3 o'clock. I just don't have time to make it on the fly. One of these days, I'll find out a way where you can actually just see the screen that I'm working on. That'll be cool. I'm still trying to figure out audio in here. New jobs, new things, a lot of new things happening. Let's see. Coldest temperature, okay, so here's the year for the coldest temperature too, by the way. The coldest stretch there between here in Cincinnati, the 20th to the 31st. Most of you probably weren't around in 1894, but that's the last time with that stretch between the 20th and 31st we had temperatures that cold. And that record, it wasn't really close. It was 54. The next closest is 56.4 back in 1924, and a bunch of you probably not around either at that date. Most of the first records, the most recent Let's see, most recent dates, I have 1963. 2003 was kind of the most recent one, when we had an average temperature that stretched 59, so 2 degrees off where we're at. That was the last time we were this chilly. Was back in 2003 when we had 59 degrees. I could go more into depth. I'm probably putting a lot of you to sleep. So that's just kind of where we're at. Again, general outlook as we close out the month and head back towards June, which June 20th, first official day of summer. This kind of goes to the stretch of this is when summer unofficially starts for many, but it's below normal across much of the eastern half of the United States. But we are back closer anyway to normal by the end of the month. So I do have us at 72 degrees, closer to normal by the 29th, 30th, mid-70s as well on the 31st. So we'll at least try to get back a little closer where we should be by the end of this forecast. So let's see, everybody, let's see. Shelley, you're ready for warmer weather. I think a lot of people are. Though I'll be honest, I don't hate this either. After having moved back from the pit of misery, Florida, after moving back, it's nice for a visit, not nice to live. After moving back and sweating every single day with the exception of like maybe 2 weeks a year, this feels pretty good. It feels pretty good. A little free AC. Storm chances, another good question, Shelley. We do have a spotty chance. Let me hop back to the 7-day. It's just easier to show you. Oh, that's the wrong one. Give it a second. It's loading, I promise. There are, since we do have those kind of, below normal temperatures here for the extended 7-day, working our way through the next couple days, low 60s, 40s for lows, that's not going to help any storms to get going. Man, that really went black there on the screen for a while. But we do start to tick back up. Again, this is a transition period of the year. You have a lot of ups and downs. It's not like summer where things are pretty static outside. So when you get these big swings up in temperature, that's not necessarily good news because it does lead to some storm chances. At least as things tick up by the end of the week, it's more of a gradual climb. That means that these storm systems are not going to be right over top of us, bringing the temperatures up in rapid fashion. So that's what it kind of tells me by the end of this week, just looking at the temperatures, low 70s, and then maybe to mid-70s. That's normal. If you start seeing temperatures jump up quickly back into the 80s, that's where we'll have to watch out. But through the next 7 days, I have no severe weather chances possible in the tri-state. Can't rule out maybe a rumble of thunder by Thursday, but it's a long ways off. A lot can change between now and just even Memorial Day. But for now, I have us dry just about everywhere through Monday. Next best chance of rain, just some spotty stuff on Tuesday. So no storm chances. That's good news. If you're coming up from Florida, you probably will freeze here. You definitely bring a coat because it's the 60s and the 40s and 50s, they're going to feel cold anyway. But we're also going to be dealing with some breezy conditions again tomorrow. So if you're coming up for tomorrow, 60's not going to feel great. And this is only for a little bit of the day. No problem, Shelley. If anybody else has any other questions, shoot them to me on Facebook. I'm going to wrap this up because I'm getting hungry, and we know what happens when that happens. You don't want hungry, Brad, because it goes back to bad news real quick. Thanks again for watching. Maybe one of these days the audio settings won't be, completely messed up when I come in here, so we can get on time. And so hopefully you guys have a great rest of your Thursday. The holiday weekend looks really nice. Fireworks Friday looks nice. You just need to wear a parka out there since we've been used to the warmer temperatures. Again, not the warmest, or I should say not the coldest we've ever seen. We just talked about that. That goes to 1894, the coldest stretch here to close out of May. So we'll take the free AC. Enjoy it while it lasts, because it's not going to be a couple weeks. We're going to be talking about 80s consistently, and it's just going to be miserable. So enjoy the lower humidity. Enjoy the lower mosquito counts. Enjoy everything out there this weekend. Hopefully you get to spend some time outside and enjoy the drier stretch before more rain pushes back in next week. As always, I appreciate you. I'm going to fade to another screen. I will disappear, but not forever. I'll probably be back tomorrow. We'll see you then. If not, I'll see you at 3 and 4 on Fox 19 now.